Dude, you look great.
You look great. You're looking great over there.
Thank you. I'm not thrilled about my neckline.
I think. Don't worry about the neckline. You're kind of going. You look like Portia in the White Lotus. You know. You're kind of going full Gen Z on that thing. All we need is a little Tommy Hilfiger here, maybe like Ralph Lauren here, and some Calvin Klein boxers.
Yeah.
It's a cute top, is what I'm trying to say, Jack. You're wearing a cute top over there. This is Nick.
This is Jack.
Welcome back. It is Monday, January 30th, and today's pod is just the best one yet. It's D-Boy.
Okay, Chris. Why not? I don't know.
Breakfast of Champions. That came out of nowhere. I love it. Jack, can you whip up some milk and tell us our first story over there?
BuzzFeed stock has quadrupled in just 2 days because they've hired robot writers.
Tell us your birthday, and we'll tell you which Spice Girl you are.
For our second story, we just got America's GDP report for the fourth quarter.
This thing is like a crystal ball on the U.S. economy, so we're jumping in.
And our third and final story is American Express. They just revealed a new strategy for their credit card business.
Here's the new AmEx strategy. Double down on the club.
So many lounges, so many fancy physical clubs.
So little time.
But Yetis, before we hit that fantastic mix.
I've been waiting all weekend for this mix. I love this mix, man.
It's Monday. You know what that means. I'm flipping it out to Hoarders Almanac week 150.
Things we're running out of in the economy. Jack and I have been keeping track for you.
This week, we are running out of paper maps.
Paper maps. Not map apps, but maps. Pieces of paper with cartography, old school maps.
Get this, Yetis. For some reason, sales of old school road maps are popping right now.
Like the new thing is the old school map.
It's not a shortage yet, but it's getting pretty close.
Like, Jack, are you talking about that map that I'm picturing you talking about?
Yeah, the map your dad used to keep in the glove box of your old station wagon.
The kind of map you had to spread out on a table like you were a 16th century explorer.
The kind of map that's so big after you open it, you gotta sprawl it out on the hood of the car on the roadside.
So big, you need a map to figure out how to get around that map.
But the wildest part of this surge in sales of paper maps?
Get this, the paper map mania isn't driven by Grandpa, it's driven by us.
It's us. iPhone-owning millennials. We are tired of staring at our phone screens all the time.
20-year-olds aren't whipping out Waze, they're whipping out compasses.
Hey, Copernicus, why don't you navigate yourself to the back of the line?
Hold on while I plot our course over here, Jack.
Yetis, we're no navigators, but we know the sun rises to the east, it sets to the west.
And the moss is always on the north side of the tree?
I think so. Nick, can you please plot our longitude and our latitude while you have a second?
1 second while I pull a Magellan on us.
According to this map, we've only gone 3 inches.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies whipping out paper maps?
Laminate that map.
Pro tip, you don't want a wet paper map.
Nick, I think I just lost our 3 stories.
Pull over, we need directions.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, BuzzFeed stock, get this, just quadrupled in 2 days because they're going to use robots to write articles. Robo-writers.
Well, us human writers, we have an idea. Facebook should acquire BuzzFeed.
Okay, Yetis, last year, Jack and I got to interview the founder and CEO of BuzzFeed, Jonah Peretti. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast in that interview pod.
In October, when we interviewed him, ChatGPT hadn't launched yet.
Well, we should do another interview with Jonah, Jack. This feels like a great opportunity.
Yeah, because Jonah just announced that he's going to hire artificial intelligence to create content for BuzzFeed.
Yeah, Yetis, the next thing that you read on BuzzFeed, it could have been written by a robot.
Yeah, that top 10 list of tacos in Tulsa.
A robot can't eat the enchilada, but a robot can write about that enchilada.
Yetis, Jonah just emailed the entire BuzzFeed staff with news that they're going to use ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence to craft some articles. According to the memo, which Wall Street Journal reviewed, the main use case of this is going to be quizzes.
Yeah, like the classic BuzzFeed quizzes that catapulted that company to recognition, right? What kind of stuff, Jack?
Answer these 5 questions and we'll tell you which Disney princess you are.
By the way, I did that while we were researching this pod, and I was a Jasmine. And you actually struck me as a Mulan, but with Elsa vibes.
Mulan's a warrior. I'll take that any day.
Well, pretty soon, Yetis, AI is going to start crafting questions based on what's trending, and this is key, personalize the quiz results for you.
And based on this news, investors had to reimagine what they think BuzzFeed is.
Here's what Jack and I find fascinating about this story. You can't think about BuzzFeed as a media company anymore. You need to think about it like a content factory.
Let's look at car factories for a second. Today, car factories use humans and robots to build cars.
Well, media companies can move in that direction too, and that could boost profitability just like it did with cars.
Because here's the dirty secret about media. The biggest cost for a media company,
what is it, Jack?
is us, like Nick and me.
It's us too.
The creators.
Jack and I are a big burden on that T-Boy pod bottom line.
True. But maybe artificial intelligence can help BuzzFeed double the number of articles they publish at no extra cost.
Now, Yetis, this is a risky bet by BuzzFeed.
Because content is king. So if these robots produce crappy articles, BuzzFeed's reputation will suffer.
Jack, remember when CNET tried doing this exact thing in the last couple months?
Yes, they were shamed by the internet. First of all, for not hiring humans, but second of all, because the AI wrote articles that were full of errors.
So we know what you're thinking, Yetis. Why is BuzzFeed taking this huge, big, risky bet? Because BuzzFeed needs a huge, big, risky payoff.
BuzzFeed stock has plummeted since going public to under $1 a share as of Wednesday.
But on Thursday and Friday, in the enthusiasm for this new opportunity, its stock more than quadrupled to over $4.
It's one of the biggest stock pops we've seen in such a short period of time.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at BuzzFeed?
Facebook should acquire BuzzFeed.
Okay, Yetis, Jack and I have sold a media company to a tech company before. We've seen it. It's a powerful combo.
The tech company gets content to keep the users engaged. The media company gets exposed to the huge tech user base.
Well, the Wall Street Journal also reported last week that Facebook happens to be paying BuzzFeed millions of dollars to post articles on Facebook.
Yeah, apparently BuzzFeed is training creators to share videos on Facebook instead of TikTok.
So the way we see it, this BuzzFeed robo-writer news, that would fit perfectly in Zuck's techie empire.
Yeah, both Facebook and BuzzFeed have seen slower growth, and both need what the other has.
Jack, BuzzFeed needs audience more than ever, and Facebook needs content more than ever.
BuzzFeed and Facebook have always been tight, but with robo-writers, they should merge.
For our second story, stocks have risen to their highest levels since August.
Why? A hat trick of good economic signals.
Yetis, we just got three economic reports that individually are good, but together are fantastic.
First, last week we got the GDP report, and America's economic growth last quarter was looking pretty good.
It was looking good. Our economy grew 2.9% last quarter. What would you put that, Jack? You going to put that on the fridge?
Not amazing growth, but definitely not a recession at all.
Not too shabby. All right, that was report number one. Report number two, the inflation report, the celebrity of economic reports these days.
Guess what? Prices rose by the slowest amount in December since 2021.
Jack, did I tell you I just paid $8 for a latte, not $11?
Progress.
That's not terrible.
And the third economic report that we got was the consumer spending report.
Yeah, consumer spending. It shrank last month. Like we spent less money and we saved more money instead.
Now, it doesn't sound good that Americans spent less money over the holidays compared to last year.
No, it doesn't sound good, does it, Jack?
No, it doesn't. But that is exactly, in this unique moment, what our central bank has been yelling at us to do.
Janet Yellen has been yelling at us to stop spending so much money, and we stopped spending so much money.
So let's add this all up. Consumers were spending less, but the economy is still solid, and inflation slowed down.
Jack, I don't want to jinx us here. I don't want to jinx us here. But this sounds like what you and I were talking about the other day. Is this it?
It sounds like we might be approaching a soft landing.
It feels like a soft landing. It really feels like a soft landing, man.
A soft landing is exactly what policymakers have been hoping for.
Honestly, we love a soft landing.
The soft landing is the goal of 2023. We should all be putting it on our wish list.
And a soft landing is basically a combination of two very specific things.
A soft landing is when the economy slows just enough to stop prices from rising.
But the economy also grows just enough to avoid a recession.
A soft landing. We fix inflation, but we don't break the economy.
Soft like silk, velvet cashmere, smooth like butter. This feels like an ASMR moment. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies hoping for a soft landing?
The odds makers on Wall Street are optimistic.
Yetis, right now in Vegas, odds makers are showing us the chance of who will win the upcoming Super Bowl.
On Wall Street, odds makers show us their thoughts on the economy.
And so far in 2023, Wall Street has boosted the odds that we'll escape inflation with no recession, a soft landing.
And we see the odds in the stock market, which is up 7% so far this year.
Tech stocks of NASDAQ, they're up 12% so far this year.
Yetis, the Santa rally we told you about in December.
Oh, we were hoping for it, Jack.
It's finally arrived at the stock market, just a month later than we thought.
Because the odds makers of Wall Street are finally optimistic about a soft landing.
Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
A lot of Yetis don't realize how much prep work goes into this pod.
We spend hours every morning jumping in T-Boy style to earnings reports, CEO tweets, breaking news headlines.
Yeah, Jack and I are toggling tabs like you toggled IM convos in 2004.
Having 8 tabs open can be stressful. You don't need that, especially when investing.
Robinhood offers it all in one app.
Whether you want to trade options, ETFs, or stocks through Robinhood Financial,
Or you want to buy some Bitcoin on Robinhood Crypto.
you can do it all on the Robinhood app.
If you're not investing in Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood.
For our third and final story, American Express has a brand new strategy for its credit card. Double down on fancy physical lounges.
To stick to you like honey, they gotta spend money.
All right, over the holidays,
I love
Yetis.
that takeaway.
It does feel really good to say that thing. American Express was feeling pretty good, Jack.
On Friday, the CEO of American Express said, "We see no signs of recession in our numbers."
Yetis, here's the vibe right now for American Express customers. Put it on the plastic. The platinum.
American Express makes a majority of their revenue from when you swipe their card.
They do.
And revenues jumped 25% last year for American Express.
In this economy?
In this economy.
And that's why AmEx's stock surged 12% on Friday. That's got to be one of their best days ever, man.
Now, no surprise for American Express that they said the word platinum 19 times in their earnings report.
That's rich, Jack. Now, the housing market, it may be frozen at the moment, but handbag sales are hot among the platinum card crowd.
Speaking of the platinum card, was it $700 annual fee for this thing?
You need a credit card to pay for your platinum card. But Yetis, here's what Jack and I found fascinating about this story. Forget about the credit cards for a moment. AmEx is doubling down on fancy physical lounges.
Shocking transformation. But Amex has become a borderless country club where you can hang out, eat dinner, and put it all on the tab. Literally.
Like, here's the news. They are now investing at Amex in high-end airport lounges more than they ever have. They now have 24 Centurion lounges.
Nick and I visited one of them at JFK's Terminal 4.
We did. Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style because, we had to see what these Amex lounges were like.
I've actually been to a few.
Whoa! Have you now, Jack? Not too shabby. Just snuck that one in there for the actually. Seattle, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Now, I'll tell you, the food is way better than the Delta Lounge's food.
That granola at the Amex Lounge was playing at another level.
But the surprising update we learned last week, they're opening up their first lounge that's not at an airport.
Yeah, this is an Amex Lounge in Midtown Manhattan on the 55th story of a skyscraper over Grand Central Station.
It's not a club. It's a club.
It's a club because they got a Michelin-starred chef. It's invite only for events. It is a foie gras feast at this place.
Yetis, this Centurion Lounge is on the 55th floor. It's right next to the Chrysler Building.
But there is one catch with this new Amex Lounge.
Even if you have a platinum card, you can't get in.
Only Centurion Black card members can get in, and that's only 20,000 people in the United States.
The annual fee for that card, we looked it up, $5,000.
20,000 card members, that's not the top 1%. That's the top 0.007% of the United States. Not too shabby. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Amex?
To stick to you like honey, they gotta spend money.
Yetis, the Amex earnings surprise wasn't you spending more money. it was Amex spending more money.
Get this, American Express splurged $3 billion last year on card member services. That's a 48% jump in perks.
Besties, that's $3 billion for Amex to serve lobster salads and wood paneling at their lounges and clubs.
It's $3 billion spent on restaurants, entertainment, and benefits only for card members.
Because Amex knows that to attract the biggest spenders, which is how Amex makes money, it needs the biggest perks.
To stick to you like honey, they gotta spend money.
Jack, can you whip up the takeaways for us to kick off the week?
BuzzFeed is reportedly going to use AI robo-writers to write some of its famous quizzes.
So we think Facebook should acquire BuzzFeed.
For our second story, 3 economic reports show that this plane could be approaching a soft landing.
So Wall Street's optimistic about a soft landing.
And our third and final story. In March, American Express opens its first non-airport lounge in Manhattan.
Because to stick to you like honey, they gotta spend money. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Steve Hammond from lovely Kirkland, Washington.
Push and play.
Here we go.
The human body is about 60 or 70% water, and water blocks Bluetooth signals. A lot of new phones and music players no longer even have a headphone jack, so they only work with Bluetooth headphones. And most of those Bluetooth headphones have the antenna on the right side. In the case of earbuds, the right bud is the one that connects to your phone, then transmits data to the left earbud. That means if you want the best signal, have your phone on your right side so it has the clearest line of sight to your headphones. So the right hip pocket is the best place to keep your phone. Trust me, I'm an engineer.
So Steve is saying the right side is the superior phone side, which gives us an answer to the question, but it also leads to more questions.
Front right or back right? Pockets. This is a big controversy, Steve. We need more specificity.
Feels like we need a follow-up best fact yet. Yetis, you look fantastic today. Jack, you going over to a Centurion Lounge over there? What's going on?
It was so out of character for me to brag about that.
Totally. We can record from a Centurion Lounge. Can you let me in? Can you get me into this thing, man? We'll do that tomorrow.
If you're lucky.
Apparently, if you know, you know.
Nick and I, we'll see you tomorrow.
As long as I can get into a Centurion Lounge. And before we go, congratulations to Yeti Josh D'Amigo from Ventura, California for acing the T-Boy quiz 3 straight weeks in a row.
And happy 32nd birthday to Nick Locicero from Astoria, Queens.
And Alana Harvey, happy 32nd birthday up in Toronto, Canada.
And happy 32nd birthday to Elsie Hamilia in the Philippines.
And Dakin the Bacon Rust is having a birthday in Boise, Idaho.
Happy 50th birthday to Ken C. in Lake Worth, Florida.
And Reed Johnson is on the way to school right now to celebrate that birthday in Los Gatos, California.
Congratulations to Anna Saltzman, who just got her first promotion in Chicago.
And Jack Manny Patel just got his first Tesla in Orlando in this economy.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins?
This is Jack. I own stock of Disney, and Nick and I both own stock of Robinhood. Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
A lot of you listen to our show while you're driving.
2 hands on the wheel. Keep it 10 and 2.
You might be cruising, Chris. No rush. Stay in the right lane.
Or you might be Darlene from Duncan, dotting from lane to lane.
Yeah, there are different drivers on the road. There are different investors too.
Maybe you're cruising down the long-term lane with stock investing, or maybe you're a more advanced full-speed trader.
Well, the Robinhood app helps put you in the driver's seat wherever you're at in your investing journey.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/T-Boy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, all investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood. This is Nick.
This is Jack.
You're so not ready.
Dude, I was getting a phone call on my Apple Watch.
From the Centurion Lounge at AmEx, Jack. What happened? You left your caviar back in the lounge?